In a small village, nestled between green hills and a crystal-clear stream, there lived an old woman named Anna, in a wooden cottage covered with climbing vines. Her home stood at the edge of the village, surrounded by a bright garden full of wildflowers and fruit trees heavy with ripening fruit. Though her husband had passed away long ago and she had no children, Anna lived joyfully and simply each day. Her only companion was Ava, a little brown and white hen with a bright red comb. Ava followed her everywhere, her tiny feet pattering and her soft clucks sounding like a gentle conversation. Every morning, as the sunrise painted the roof with gold, Anna opened her door and smiled at Ava wandering through the garden. Her wrinkled hands tended the blooming flowers with care. Villagers often stopped to watch this tender pair, the kind old woman and her faithful hen, and they smiled. Anna's life had no luxury, but her eyes always shone with peace. To her, happiness meant having a quiet home, a loyal friend, and a heart full of gratitude for life itself. Each morning, as sunlight filtered through the trees and warmed the roof, Ava would softly cluck, a sign of a new day. In her clean little coop, she always laid one perfect egg, smooth, warm, and round like a small pearl. Anna would gently pick it up, hold it in her wrinkled hands, and whisper, "One is enough, dear Ava. May we always have just what we need." She boiled the egg, divided it into two, half for breakfast, half for dinner. To her, it wasn't merely a meal, but a small ritual of gratitude. Anna believed that every simple thing in life was a precious gift: the murmuring stream outside, the soft wind through the fence, the loyal presence of her little hen. After breakfast, she tended her garden, watered the vegetables, trimmed a few flowers, and sat on her porch watching Ava peck around the yard. The gentle clucking blended with the rustle of leaves, a melody of peace. Anna didn't have much, but in her heart, everything was enough to live, to love, and to smile with each sunrise. One soft morning, as mist covered the garden, Anna walked to the coop as usual, but something was different. Ava hadn't laid one egg, but two. Anna blinked in surprise, then chuckled warmly. "2 eggs, Ava? You're feeling generous today." She picked them up carefully, feeling their warmth spread through her palms. One she boiled for herself, the other she brought to the market, trading it for a handful of rice and a bit of palm sugar to make sweet pudding later that afternoon. In the following days, the little miracle continued. Ava laid 2 eggs every morning. The news spread quickly. Some villagers told Anna to sell both eggs. Others suggested feeding Ava more so she might lay 3, or even starting a farm to get rich. Anna only smiled gently and said, "One for me, one to share. That's enough." She kept that habit every day, seeing Ava's eggs not as a way to earn more, but as a symbol of gratitude and sufficiency. To her, simplicity was the greatest wealth of all. Since Ava began laying 2 eggs, Anna's life became even more meaningful. Every morning, she saved 1 egg for herself and carefully cleaned the other. Then, instead of selling it, she placed it in a small bamboo basket and gifted it to someone who needed it more: a sick child's family, an old neighbour too weak to walk to the market, or sometimes she left it quietly on a poor doorstep before dawn. Villagers began to notice and affectionately called her Egg Anna. To them, she was not only kind, but the embodiment of selfless giving. Some children found eggs in bamboo baskets hanging by their doors, their eyes lighting up as their mothers silently whispered thanks. Anna never asked for anything in return. Her joy came from knowing that each small egg brought warmth and smiles to others. Morning after morning, the sound of Ava's clucking mingled with children's laughter. To Anna, true happiness was simple: to share what you have, because every time you give, your heart grows fuller. Then one day, the heavy rains came. Dark clouds covered the sky and it poured for days. The gentle stream by the village overflowed, flooding homes and fields. Many families lost their crops and went hungry. Yet even during those long, stormy mornings, Anna still visited the coop. And miraculously, Ava kept laying 2 eggs each day, as if nature itself was offering them a quiet blessing. Thanks to her frugal habits, Anna had stored many eggs in salt and dry straw. When floods struck, she began boiling and preserving them, walking door to door to share with those in need: hungry children, worried mothers, frail elders. She never took payment, only smiled as she placed a warm egg into their trembling hands. The villagers were deeply moved. Amid the dark rains, light from Anna's small cottage became a symbol of hope and kindness. She never preached, but her actions whispered a truth louder than words. Even the smallest act of goodness can warm an entire winter. When the rain finally stopped and sunlight returned, some villagers visited Anna. They saw her garden still green and Ava happily clucking nearby. One man asked, "Anna, when Ava lays 2 eggs a day, why not sell more? You could have been rich by now." Anna smiled softly, her gentle eyes glowing with calm. She set down her bamboo basket and replied, "True happiness doesn't come from having more, but from cherishing what we already have. I keep what I need and share the rest. Wealth fills the hands for a moment. Kindness fills the heart forever." Her words silenced them. They looked at her, the fragile old woman living simply, yet glowing with an inner light richer than gold. Beside her, Ava nestled against her skirt and clucked softly as if agreeing. In that moment, they understood. Happiness is not about possession, but peace, born from knowing when enough is enough and giving from the heart. As the sun dipped behind the hills, Anna sat quietly on her porch, stroking Ava's soft feathers. The wind carried the scent of jasmine and the freshness of rain-soaked earth. Everything was peaceful. She looked up at the glowing sky and smiled. The smile of someone who had found life's true meaning. She thought of all the days gone by, of each little egg, each grateful smile, each moment of enoughness. A quiet truth echoed in her heart. Happiness is not in having much, but in sharing what you have and knowing it is enough. That simple wisdom became her message to the village and to anyone seeking peace. When we lift others, we lift ourselves. When we share the little we have, our hearts become infinitely rich. And so, under the soft glow of sunset, Anna and Ava sat side by side, peaceful, content, and happy in the gentle simplicity of life.